Welcome to Age UK Kent Rivers Steady Strong and Able online classes, Session 3, Balance. These seated exercises are delivered by Age UK Kent Rivers specialist instructor, Sue Larken. The 30-minute sessions are designed with older people in mind, but are appropriate for people of all ages who wish to gently introduce exercise into their routine or are focused on maintaining mobility, balance, and strength. What you will need for this session: a sturdy chair, a bottle or glass of water to stay hydrated, 1 to 2 cushions if needed. Pause here if you need time to grab anything. Click play when you're ready to go.
Hello everyone, I'm Sue Larken, Head of Wellbeing at Age UK Kent Rivers. Some of you may have seen previous videos that I've made on strength and mobility, and if you're liking those, then we can always just click on the links below and have a go if you haven't seen them. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking to you about balance. Balance is a skill, okay? Balance is something that we learn, and along the way we don't use it as much. So when we're not using those skills, we start to lose them, along with something called proprioception. So proprioception is where we learn to where we're positioning our body with movement without looking where it is. So for instance, if I was to shut my eyes and touch my nose, I know where my nose is without looking. Or if I want to place my foot to step over something on the floor, I position it. I go to pick something up, I know how much strength I'm going to need to be able to lift that up. But over time, when we're not doing things as much, we start to lose those things, and it can affect our balance, along with things like bad eyesight and also muscle strength. So we're going to be gaining that muscle strength today. I'm going to be going through some positions with you. It is very important to learn because, unfortunately, things such as 1 in 5 people over the age of 65 will have a fall. 1 in 2 people over the age of 80 have at least one fall a year. And those falls start to affect us mentally as well as physically. You lose your confidence, and it could be life-changing injuries for you. So it's not all doom and gloom though, because those skills, we're going to get them back, we're going to practice them, we're going to learn them so that it gives you a happier, more confident life. Okay, so just making sure, because everybody does work at their own level and their own stages, I want you all to make sure that you're feeling fit and well starting this exercise, and if you're not feeling too good, then maybe just check with your doctors as well to make sure that you're okay to do this for safety. Alright, so we're going to get started. We're going to start thinking about that posture, how you're sitting, and think about that middle part of your body, because as soon as we start to move our body one way, it affects, we go where our head goes. So we're going to work on that, we're going to work on that posture, we're going to also work on strengthening those parts of that body that we need to help us. So we're going to get started first of all, warming up our calf muscles in our legs, because we're going to be using those to help us. So we want you to go up onto your toes and back down. So remember, you're just going to work at the level that suits you. So we're just going to lift our feet up, lifting our heels up and down off that floor. And maybe we'll give them a pump. Yep, let's do one then the other. Pump those hips. Okay, so now we're going to have a go at challenging, working the front of our feet. So I want you to lift the fronts of your feet up now. Front of the feet, very important that we get that strength. So I want you to keep tapping that for me. So remember, we forget about lifting the front of our feet up. We don't often walk around with our feet up in the air. So therefore, the fronts of our feet get weaker. We start to maybe drop our feet and not pick them up as much. So I want you to pump those feet for me. You might be feeling that a little bit now in the fronts of those legs. Okay, so now we're going to go right up and down. That's it, up and down. Good. Now we're going to combine the two movements. So we're going to work them feet a bit more. So you're going to go up with your toes, then up with the heels. So it's one, then the other. Alternating those feet, making it up and down, work those feet. That's good. Okay, so now we're going to just have a go. How's that posture doing, by the way? Have we slouched back down again? Are you still sitting right upright? We're going to have a little go at marching those legs for me. Let's give them a march. Let's get them working. Let's get them legs moving. Okay, so if you want to do a little bit more mobility and warm up, as I say, maybe the other videos will be the right ones for you. Today we're concentrating on balance. So we're not going to do too much because I don't want to wear everybody out before we get started. Alright, so let's get started then on getting up. Now, to stand up out of the chair, we're going to, it takes effort. And over time, people start to do it from quite a young age actually. They start to use their hands. Okay? You start to put your hands on that chair, you push with your hand, and you come up. But what happens to the legs? The legs are not getting that strength, are they? They're relying on those arms. So then when we want our legs to work, they're not going to be able to do it. We're going to get that strength back. We're going to bring it back. So what I want you to do is you're going to practice with me, and it doesn't matter if you can't get up out of that chair. I want you to just keep practicing. So remember what I said about those skills. It takes time. It takes time for our body to learn what we're doing. It takes time for those muscles to get stronger again. So bear with these exercises and we will help you to get stronger. So we're going to start how we're positioned in this chair. Now, the chair you're sitting on might be lower. So if you're quite a tall person or the chair you're on is lower, it's harder to get up out of that chair. So if you're in a chair that you're not sure you're going to be able to get out of, we can make it higher. And I'm going to show you a way of helping make that chair higher if you need to. I've got some cushions over here that I'm going to just grab. Okay, so I'm not sure if we're going to need one cushion or two. So I've got two here. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the cushion on the chair. One, then the other. It's quite high. I'm actually quite high here. So you may not be able to. So I'm sitting up really high now. And what I'm going to be doing is, you can see my leg has changed. So I've got less effort to push. Okay, so you're putting your legs hip width apart and I've got less effort to push up from that chair. When you feel you can do that with two cushions, take one away maybe, have a little practice. Perhaps you only need one cushion, okay? When you get good, when you get better, your strength improves, you'll eventually be able to do it without that cushion. So use those cushions if you need to. Now, how about positioning our body? So where do we position our body? Remember what I said, if we are at the back of the chair, you've got all this body to try and get up through to the front. We want to make it as easy as possible for yourself. So move your bottom to the front of the seat. Okay, the less body you've got then to move, you're at the front because you're going to be going where that body's taking you. Legs should be hip width apart at the front there because when you get up, when you stand up, you want to feel stable, you want to feel strong. Okay, we're going to place those hands on those thighs. Now when we push, we're going to put that strength into the feet. Feet flat on that ground, feel that ground. Bring those legs back slightly and I want you to push your feet as hard as you can into that ground. So as you push down, put your hands on those thighs. You're going to feel those muscles trying to work to help you. Now you're going to go where your head goes. So we're going to be leaning forward. So if you're taking a bow, you're going to take your shoulders forward slightly. Going to lean forward and you're going to push down through your heels, lean forward with the head. Now, it might be that your bottom comes up and comes back down quite quickly. Okay, don't worry about that. We're just going to practice. So you're going to practice, get a bit of momentum, get yourself going, push down and up. And if that's all you can do, that is still working leg muscles. So I want you to practice on that for me. Practice that until eventually you start to get a bit stronger. Okay, and a big push, 1, 2, 3, you push down, you lean forward, and you come up to standing. Okay, now remember that might not happen overnight, it might not happen in one session, but the more you practice it, the better you'll get. Okay, so I want to see you starting to practice those movements, having a go. And now we're going to move on, we're going to start doing some standing exercises, because in order for us to work on our balance, we need to feel a little bit unstable. You need to feel a little bit wobbly, because that is how we're going to improve. So you might feel a little bit wobbly, but that's going to be all right. Okay, you're just going to work within your own comfort zones. Okay, so we're going to come up to standing. So any way you want at the moment. So if you can do that position, hands on the thighs, legs back, head forward, 3, 2, 1, lean forward, push down, and coming up. Good. Okay, so we're going to go to the chair. Now I'm going to turn my chair around so that you can see what I'm doing from the side. Now just make sure when you're standing up, there's nothing on the floor that's going to make you wobble, or down on the ground that you're going to fall over. It's a nice clear area. So we're going to get started. Chair in front of you. Remember, working at your own level, keeping your head up. So I want you to find something to look at that's eye level. So you're going to watch eye level. Now you've got the fingers that you can place there on the chair if you need to. And we're going to come up onto your toes and come back down. So you're going to go up onto your toes and back down. So remembering that all the time we're doing this nice and slow and controlled. Now you may find, as I say, different levels. You may need to put your hands here and get used to those muscles working first of all. And that's fine, because we need to build the strength. So if you need to hold on, then you hold on. Then as you get more confident, it could be just fingertips. And then if you feel you can, eventually, maybe trying it out. Now you might have a little wobble. You're going to feel those ankles moving and working. Okay, so we want to get that body going up and back down. Going up and back down. Okay, so nice and slowly. So you can do this by the sink. Yep, tabletop, anywhere that you're going to stand. You're going to go make yourself a cup of tea, waiting for the kettle to boil, standing by the sink. Let's do 10, 15 of these. If you can get up to 20, that's good. But we're just going to have a little practice of going up and down. Good. Okay, so now we're going to have a little go at going up and see if we can hold it a little bit longer. That's a bit tougher. Okay, so we're going to go up and hold it. Now you might feel a little wobble, and if you feel you're going to go, you can move your feet around, get your balance back. Okay, don't forget you can move your feet if you need to. Alright, and we're coming back down again. So we're going to go up, hold it there, and back down. Now remember, I don't want you to go on to the holding one until you're confident with going up and down. Once you get that movement going and you feel confident, then try. Now remember, as soon as you move that head, if you start looking down at your feet, that balance is going to go. So head's nice and still. Okay, so next one, front of those feet. Let's put our hands back on the chair. Alright, now we're going to bend your knees a bit. We're going to bring your toes up at the front, like we did when we were sitting down. Toes coming up and down, up and down. And again, placing the hands there, get yourself nice and slowly working those front of those feet. Alright, now we're going to take the hands off if you're confident, or fingertips. That's good. Bringing it up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Good, okay. So once you've mastered those ones, if you want to add a bit of walking into that, we're going back to the toes. And this time, as we go up onto the toes, you're going to try a little walk. That's a bit tougher because we're moving now. Okay, toe walking. So toe walking, up and down. If you feel you need something next to you, or you want to stand to the side, then you do what's best for you. So toe walking, but again, looking front to where you're going. Eyes look to where you're going. Don't look straight down at those feet. And back down. Okay, give that one a go if you feel you can, but only when you feel strong enough from doing the toe raise. Now, we're going to bring those toes up. And now this one, hands on the chair. Remember, this is the tougher one. We've done toes up and down. We're going to try a walk on your heels. Okay, so this one feels a bit strange. Okay, but we're going to go for a walk on the heels. Walking on those heels, keeping those heads up and walking around. So this one, just have a little practice. You're going to feel it on the front of those feet. Have a little walk around. Yeah, maybe don't do it when the relatives come over to see you. You might scare them away. And just walking with those feet up. And you're going to get used to it. As you get used to it, you'll get better. The better you get, the stronger they get. And bring that back down. Good. Okay, so we've done the fronts and backs of the feet. We're going to stand now to the side. Okay, we're going to stand to the side. What I want us to have a little go at now is heads looking in front. Reason I'm standing to the side of my chair, you might want another chair this side of you or by a wall. Or if you're not feeling too confident, you can actually stand in the corner of a room. Because if you're in the corner of a room, you're not going to fall. You've got the walls either side of you. Now we're going to stand, head looking in front, outside leg. Now you might only want to do half a foot first, but we're going to feel, and this is where, as I say, the proprioception comes in of knowing where is that foot, how is it being placed. So trying to keep your eyes looking front, slowly move the foot, perhaps just half a foot. So I've got half my foot in front and standing there nice and still. How does that feel? You've got your fingers there on the chair, keeping yourself still. If that feels okay, maybe try foot in front, whole foot, standing nice and still. Now your ankles are going to be moving, you can bend your knees a little bit, you're going to feel those ankles working, wobbling a little bit. Keep those eyes looking in front. Okay, now hold in that position, and we're going to try and hold it. You're going to count, and you might only be able to hold it for 4 or 5 seconds. That's fine. 2 seconds is fine. Let's bring that leg back. You're going to try and do it. The longer, the better you get, the longer you'll be able to hold it. If you feel you're going to go, just simply move your leg out. Move your leg to the side. Once the legs are wider, you're feeling safe again. Okay, so you're going to try one side. We're going to turn around. You're going to do it the other way. So you will now do the other way, so that my leg, outside leg here, and I'm going to be doing the same thing, heel to the toe. And I'm going to be holding it nice and still. Okay. And then you're going to be bringing it back in. If that is too much for you for starting and balances, I want you to test yourself first. Maybe stand with your feet together. How does that feel when you stand behind that chair without holding on? Do you feel you need to touch the chair? That's fine. If you do, then put your fingertips there and just stand in there. How does that feel? Maybe take one hand away, keeping that head still. The other side. If you feel wobbly, bring your legs out wide and you'll feel safer again. So if you're somewhere, could be somewhere that you've got on the bus, it's going to move suddenly, something happens. If you're somewhere where you're feeling underneath you is not too stable, bring your legs a little bit wider, give yourself a bit of stability. Okay, so now we're going to stand with our legs here. We're going to have a little march. So you might want to stand behind the chair this way, or you may want to stand this way. What we're going to do is we're going to march those legs. Okay, you're going to march your legs up and down. Head's looking up. Okay, and as we're marching, you're moving your body weight from one leg to the other. So for a few seconds, you're on one foot. Okay, that's good. Now, let's take the legs out wider. And let's have a little sway. We're going to imagine you're on a boat. Okay, so the boat, if you're on a boat, don't get seasick. So we're going to just move our body. So what I'm doing is I'm going from one side to the other. Just for a few seconds, I'm lifting one foot off the floor. Feeling how that feels. Okay, just feeling how that feels to be on one leg. Okay, now if you get good at it, you can slow the sway down, because then you're actually on one leg for a bit longer. Alright, now as you get better at it, bring those legs in, and let's go back for the marching and try a slower march. And again, if you slow the marching down, a bit like going up the stairs. Now remember, you can always hold on if you feel you're a little bit nervous. Keep those eyes looking. It's about practicing those skills. And bring it back down. Okay, now we're going to try the one that I know people probably would like the least, which is the balancing on the one leg. And again, it's all about practicing stages. So you're going to keep your head looking up, focusing. Now I'm going to ask you to take one leg back. So we're going to take one leg back, and I'm just resting the ball of my foot here. My hands on the chair. Okay, now, just holding that position might actually make you feel wobbly. And if it does, you're just going to keep practicing it. Just hands on the chair with the foot there. If it makes you feel wobbly, then just keep putting your foot down until you keep going, and eventually you'll get that balance there. Now, from that position, how does it feel maybe to lift that foot off the floor? Does it make you feel wobbly? How does that feel? So if that's okay, we're going to see how it feels to take the hands away from the chair. And again, do it in stages. So keep your foot there, eyes steady. All right, we're going to try one hand. Just stay in focus. If you feel okay, we're going to try the other hand. All right, now at this stage you might be having a wobble. If you do, remember you can always put your foot down. Put your foot down to save yourself. Get used to moving your legs to save you. Okay, you may not always have a chair in front of you when you're out and you're wobbling. Hopefully you'll always have a leg. And you can put that leg down. So I want you to react that if you think you're going to go, move your leg. Okay, so let's try that. You ready? In position, head's looking in front. Alright, now remember you're allowed to breathe when you're doing these exercises. So take one hand away, other hand away if you can. If it's making you nervous, just stay as you are and then practice. If you take your hand away and you wobble, put your foot down. If you get to that stage, your hands are away, the next thing will be lift the foot. And I know that's a tough one. So if you can lift the foot again, see how long you can hold it for. And it's all about practice at different stages. Finding that stage that's right for you. The last exercise we're going to have a little go at, okay, is stepping back. And again, sometimes you may be out, maybe outside, something happens, and you go to step back because it surprised you. Something's happened now. You step back, but you're not used to it. So it takes you off balance. And we have one leg that we prefer one side to the other. Now, normally if you're right-handed, you'll probably step forward with your right foot first without even thinking about it. We step forward every day without even thinking about which leg we step with. And then we start to become better balancing on the other side without even thinking about it. So I want you to have a little practice now at stepping backwards. So we're going to stand by the chair and we're going to try, first of all, let's try the right leg first. So we're going to just do a little tap it back and bring it in. Now let's try the left leg. Okay, does it feel equal? Does one side feel a bit more wobbly? If you're confident, let's try a bigger step. Backwards. Let's try the other leg. Backwards. So just have a little practice of stepping backwards and in. Stepping backwards and in. And seeing how that makes you feel. Okay. Good. All right. So I think I'm going to leave you with enough of those exercises now. I'm going to see how everybody is. Get yourself working, get that mobility moving. If you want to try my other videos, try them. Get that work. Remember, it's ankles, knees and hips. So if you feel that you're a little bit weak with those hips, with the knees, with the ankles, try the mobility and strength videos and they'll help you. Keep on balancing, keep on practicing with the balance. It is unnerving. It is the one thing that worries people. But if we can prevent you falling over, then you've done a good job. Okay, thank you everybody.